For the injuries for today, um, Kittle will be out, Verrett will be out, and Ford will be questionable. Go ahead.
Kyle, Steve Young said something interesting on the radio this week about Jimmy Garoppolo, and he said he thought Garoppolo might have been going through his reads too quickly, which ultimately might have slowed him down. He said it was something that your dad noticed in Steve early in his career. I'm curious if you notice the same thing, and what the coaching points may be to slow down Jimmy, but also be sure he's making his reads properly.
Yeah, that's a very common thing. All the time throughout every game, there's going to be times where a quarterback either goes too fast through a progression or too slow. Sometimes it's harder when you're amped up and everything, so you're just trying to find that even keel throughout the game, that balance of being amped up and trying to keep your rhythm of the game. So there's a couple he might have been a little too fast on, a couple a little too slow, but that's pretty normal. That wasn't everything, but there was a couple he was like that on.
Kyle, in terms of D Ford, is it a muscle strain with his neck, or is there a disc issue that you guys have to be really concerned about?
No, yesterday it was just neck spasms and stuff, so we rested him. I know today he came in with some, so I know he's meeting with guys and trying to make sure it's safe and everything, so that's why it's questionable. Don't have much more than that, but, it's Friday, so we're just trying to play it slow here and see how it goes here the next 2 days.
Hey, Kyle, you obviously lost the first game. Now you got to go on the road for 2 games. You've got some injury issues. Do you look at this as just a little bit of, early test of adversity, or is it just like, dude, we lost 1 game. Everyone has injuries. You calm down.
Yeah, no, I'd look at it as pretty normal situation. We do have some injuries, but, I thought we had some last week also. That's stuff you've been dealing with. I thought we dealt with that a little bit last year when we started too, offensively and even defensively too. A lot of guys missed all of camp, and they got back right for the Tampa Bay game and played a little banged up and got a little healthier as it went. But and then going on the road, there's not much difference right now between playing at home or on the road. They're all silent. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Now, the time change is going to be a little bit different, as it always is. And that's why we go out on Friday today, and we'll work on getting used to that. But I think our guys are looking forward to a nice plane ride where we can relax a little bit and change the environment up a little bit.
Kyle, I know it was only a walkthrough today, but what was your impression of just actually getting to see Mohamed again in person on the field? And then you said you feel pretty comfortable if you had to playing him a significant amount. What was your expectation for him on Sunday?
If we have 5 receivers up, he'll be up. We still haven't decided it yet with everything going on. I know we had 4 last week, but we'll see how it balances out this week. And, he's been in the Zoom meetings watching all the installs and stuff, and we threw him out there today, and he didn't make any mistakes, was able to line up with confidence. And Mo's a pro. Mo works at it. It's good to see him today. I haven't seen him for a while, and I'm glad to have him here. And I know if we go with 5, we won't hesitate to have him out there, and I know he'll be ready.
Kyle, there were a couple of guys that came out of Sunday's game and took some criticism. Dante Johnson on the punt block, and then Dante Pettis on the long pass to him. What was your take on those 2 plays? Is that criticism warranted?
No, I don't believe so. In those 2 plays you're talking about, it's not many people are going to block 2 people, which was Dante's issue on the punt rush. We had a mess up inside, and I'm not going to get into exactly what that was, but Dante's there to save the day, but we never put 2 guys on him. There's only supposed to be 1 guy on him, so that wasn't Dante. He could have saved it with an unbelievable block, but I'm not expecting a guy to take on 2. And then Dante on the deep throw down the field, he got held up a little bit on a reroute by Buddha, and we took our shot. It was the look we wanted. The timing was a little bit off when he got rerouted a little bit by the free safety, and that's why, it was a perfect throw if he didn't get rerouted, and that's why he didn't get to it. Of course, I'd love for him to dive, lay out, do everything he can to get to it. I still don't think he's going to be able to, though. Credit Buddha with the reroute there.
Kyle, Javon Kinlaw spoke to us yesterday. He maybe said about 50 words total in about 5 minutes. He's talked about being very hard on himself. He said he played below average. How do you manage that kind of mentality for a rookie and kind of keeping him prepared and up for week 2?
I mean, I love that mentality. I mean, I want guys to always know they can do better because nobody's perfect. So you always got to think you can do better and better. And it was his first game. It was good to get his feet wet out there. He did some good things, but there's no doubt he can play a lot better. Not to take anything away from him last week, but we expect him to get better each week. And if he doesn't expect that, then that won't happen. I mean, he's got to hold himself to a high standard just like we will. And we expect him to get better each week doing that.
When it comes to George, obviously you guys want to have caution with him, I would assume. But is it something where it's has to do with the surface, or was there something that with his knee this week that gave you guys a little bit more concern than you had initially?
No, I think I think it was just the normal person. We probably would have ruled him out earlier in the week, but we never do that really with George because of what he's shown us here over these 3 years with him. And we would have held out 2 more days to wait and see if it was a home game. But with us having to decide to travel today, whether it was worth it to bring him. I mean, if he's not going to play, it's much better for him to leave him here for a couple days and let him get his rehab and everything. And so we had to make that decision a little bit earlier today. And that'll help him and benefit him. And he'll meet us in West Virginia. And hopefully these 2 days staying here will help him. And hopefully he'll be ready to go next week.
You said Jordan Reed was kind of early in camp, kind of working back from some stuff and has gradually progressed. Given that George is out, where do you feel like he's at, and do you feel comfortable increasing his role?
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think it's been like that really each week for him. I think he ended up getting about 10 plays last week, and that was about how much we planned on. If you go back to the practice weeks and stuff, I mean, it's been about that. We've been building up to 10 plays, and we were going to build up a little bit more this week. It doesn't change much with George out. I mean, that can give him a couple more opportunities, but we still have our other 2 tight ends out there. We'll still carry 3. Last week we were able to carry 4, which is why we went short at receiver. But no, I feel good with him, and he's getting better each week at it, getting healthier, and getting more confident in what he's doing in our offense.
Kyle, John said that you went through about 78 plays with the guys at your team meeting coming out of week 1. How do you find the balance of where it's too much information or where it's not? He thought originally that it would be maybe too much, but then afterwards said no, it was the perfect amount of review of what was going on in week 1.
I mean, I really try to whatever it takes to show guys what happened. I mean, lots of people can talk and try to tell people, but most people are probably like me, and it's very hard to listen to someone talk that long and really follow them. So when you have the film behind you and then people can see it, it's much easier to show the story of what happened. And I think a lot of people would be surprised. I mean, coaches included. You work so hard into going to games, and then you lose and you come up short. And a couple things that you saw, a couple things that affected you that your eyes are on all the time, and very quickly you're upset about it, but you got to move to the next week. So I think it's very important in situations like that when you truly believe that you could have won, but you came up short. You want everyone to know why, not just to point people out, not to embarrass people, but so people understand and don't start making stuff up. I don't like when people make stuff up, and if you don't educate people and show them why, most people are going to. So it's about educating guys, showing them, not trying to sell anything, just letting them see the truth, and then it helps you put things to bed a lot easier.
Last question.
I imagine the plan is just to use Jordan Reed more, as you said. But does that mean we're going to see more Charlie Warner on Sunday? And how confident are you using him in the passing game?
I'm confident all 3 of our guys out there. All of them have their traits that they do some things better than the others, but all 3 of them are capable of running, blocking, catching. They all can do it all, so it's not like you're going to make any of them just one-dimensional. We got a number of personnel groups. I expect all 3 of them to play more. And so it was a little bit tougher rotating 4 of them last week. With only 3 up this week, they'll all get more playing time.
Hey, faithful, click here to subscribe.